Can we ask everyone to stand, please, as the hearse comes into the premises? Okay, you all can be seated. Thank you very much.
भीतर भीतर रोए, तेरा दर्द न जाने को।
शिव हरे शिव राम सके प्रभु, त्रिविधि ताप निवारण हे प्रभु। अज जनेश्वर यादव पाहि मम, शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे बलम्। कमललोचन राम दयानिधे, हर उरे गजरक्षक गोपते। शिवतनो भव शंकर पाहि मां, शिव हरे शिव राम सके प्रभु। सुजन रंजन मंगल मंदिरम, भजति परसूत परम पदम। भवति तात सुखं परभूतम्, शिव हरे शिव राम सके प्रभु। हनुमते प्रिय चापका प्रभु, सुरसरिज दारिज शेखर गुरु। मम विभो किम विस्मरणं कृतं, शिव हरे शिव राम सके प्रभु। अहर हर जनरंजन सुंदरम, प्रथियसीव राम कृत केशवम्। विशततीरा रामचरं भुजे, शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे बलम्। शिव हरे शिव राम सके प्रभु, त्रिविदितापन वारणे। शिव हरे शिव राम सके प्रभु, त्रिविधि ताप निवारण हे प्रभु। अज जनेश्वर यादव पाहि मम, शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे।
No, looking good. ॐ भारताय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं, व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम्। अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दरामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीं नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लादविन्दायतपत्रनेत्रा येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्स सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचानूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। श्रीभगवानुवाच ऊर्ध्वमूलमदशाकम् अश्वत्थं प्राहुरव्ययं छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्तं वेद स वेदवित्। अधश्चोर्ध्वं प्रसृतास्तस्य शाखाः गुणप्रवृद्धा विषयप्रवालाः अधश्च मूलान्यनुसन्ततानि कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके न रूपमस्येह ततोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा। अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरुद्धमूलम् अशङ्करशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा ततः परं तत्परिमार्गितव्यं यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूयः तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यतः प्रवृत्ति प्रसृता पुराणी निर्माणमोहाजितसङ्गदोषाः अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ताः सुखदुःखसंज्ञैः गच्छन्त्यमूढा परमव्ययं तत्। न तद्भासयते सूर्यः न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम।
So at this time, before the Pandit begins the rites, anyone who would like to view the body, please feel free to do so at this point in time.
आए भी अकेला, into this world we have come alone, और जाए भी अकेला, and in a similar manner, when we take our exit, we shall leave alone. 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला. When we do take stock of our lives, we realize that this life is a very short visit to a mela. This is a world of strangers. No one is yours. Although everyone lives, I am still alone. आए भी अकेला और जाए भी अकेला.
त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धु च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देवा. भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, 2 दिन की जिंदगी है, 2 दिन का मेला। कोई नाल जय है धन बांध के घटरिया, कोई नाल जय है धन बांध के घटरिया, धन बांध के घटरिया, धन बांध के घटरिया, धन बांध के घटरिया, धन बांध के घटरिया रे, कोई नाल जय है धन बांध के घटरिया। जब यमराज पलंग पर बैठे, हाँ जब यमराज पलंग पर बैठे, उलट गए दोनों नैन पटरिया, उलट गए दोनों नैन पटरिया रे, कोई नाल दे धन बांध के घटरिया। मारही सूता प्राण निकाले, मारही सूता प्राण निकाले, प्राण लोकाई खोटरिया खोटरिया, ओ प्राण लोकाई खोटरिया खोटरिया रे, कोई नाले गए धन बांध के घटरिया, कोई नाले गए धन बांध के घटरिया, कोई नाले गए धन बांध के घटरिया। चार प्रहर मिली काट उठावे, चार प्रहर मिली काट उठावे, फूक दिया जैसे बन के लकड़िया, फूक दिया जैसे बन के लकड़िया रे, कोई नाल जय धन बांध के घटरिया, कोई नाले जय धन बांध के घटरिया, कोई नाले जय धन। कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधु, कहत कबीर, कहत कबीर सुनो भाई।
पिंजरे के पंछी रे,
Check one, sound check one. Testing 1 2. Checking for sound 1 2.
जाने कोई तेरा दर्द न जाने कोई, बाहर से तो खामोश रहे तू,
Check one, sound check one. प्रेम से बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की Devotees, I crave your indulgence for a moment. Let us all please stand. Today, we are all here to pay our final respects, to give our regards to Mr. Hariram Ramroop, also known as Bhaiwa. And we're also here to stand in solidarity and to offer condolences to the bereaved family. So I just ask that you place your cell phones out of respect, place it on vibrate or silent or take it off. If you must take a call, you gently and silently move to the back and take it. Let us put our hands together, close our eyes and bow our heads. We ask Bhagwan, as we begin these rituals, these rites connected with death, please let these rituals be successful. And as we are about to commit this body to you, O Bhagwan, please accept this Atma, continue to guide and protect him on his journey. For those who are Hindus, you take that form of Bhagwan Shri Krishna, that divine flute player, the one who leads with the sound of his bansuri. For those who belong to other faiths, you take that form or formless entity that you worship or you hold there, and you ask in your own way for that divine's blessings onto this one. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswati Namaha. Om Shri Guru Charana Kamalabhyo Namaha. Om Apavitra Pavitro Va Sarvavastham Gatopi Va Yah Smarit Pundari Kaksham Sabahya Vyantara Shuchihi. Om Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu. Om Tat Sat Adyah Shrimad Bhagavato Mahapurushasya Vishnuragnaya Pravartamanasya Brahmano Dvite Parabdhe Shvetavaraha Kalpe Saptame Vaivasmanvantare Ashtavimshatam Yoge Kali Pratama Charane Jambo Dvipe Vistindis Khande Trida Deshe Shri Endevagrami Om Shri Phalgun Mase Krishna Pakshe Shashti Tithau Shri Tritra Nakshatre Shula Yoge Garaj Karane Shanivardini. You take your Rasi name, if you know. Take your name, the family name, and the name of our dearly departed. Namanah Kayek Vachasik Manasik Natak Nata Sakala Doshi Parihartam Shruti Smrite Puranokpa Praptyartam Mate Shri Antishti Samskaram Aham Karishye Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Devyaistave Vide Sangapada Kramo Upanishade Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Naviro Sura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devake Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Again. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. One more time, everyone. Om Namo Vasudevaya. Prem se bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Place the flowers in the box anywhere. And when they have done so, then you can take your seat, everyone. Devotees, as we go along this morning, I will try very briefly to give a little explanation as to why we perform these rituals. You know, as Hindus, sometimes we are not fully aware, and we call it, you know, there's a nice word that we use in Trinidad language, Trinidad colloquial language, we say simidimi. But there are reasons for what we do. This is the final Hawan, final Homa that we are about to do with this, our beloved person in that chitta. And to do so, before you have puja, before you have prayers, before you have any sort of devotion, what is the first thing that we do? We purify ourselves. We get up in the morning and we take a bath and we purify ourselves. So this is what we will be doing. So I'd ask you all to just to touch hands and you sprinkle water and you walk around once. Om Bhud Bhuva Swaha Gotrasya Pretasya Shri Hariram Ramroop Maya Diyate Tava Upatishtatam Gotrasya Pretasya Shri Hariram Maya Diyate Tava Upatishtatam. The offering of Chandan. Come on this side if they want to come. Come on next side. The adoration of the various parts of the body. Om Bhud Bhuva Swaha Gotrasya Pretasya Chandanam Maya Diyate Tava Upatishtatam. Touch hands, everybody touch hands. Chandanam Maya Diyate Tava Upatishtatam. The anointing with sacred oils and offer, and you walk around once as well while you offer. Om Bhud Bhuva Swaha Gotrasya Pretasya Shri Gandham Maya Diyate Tava Upatishtatam. Good. Mala. So we have the offering of mala. Anybody name mala here? Okay. This is called pushpa mala. Pushpa means flower. Before we offer, this is also symbolic. The mala or the broken mala represents various things. One, just now. It represents, the practical aspect that the mala must be broken. But there is another esoterical meaning behind it. If you look at the mala, it contains maybe different flowers, different sizes, different shapes, different colors. This represents our lives as we go about. Puranapi maranam, puranapi jaranam. Again death and again life. Sanatana Dharma believes that until such time as we merge with that supreme consciousness, we will have to come back again and again. The thread of that mala represents this cycle of what we call samsara. This cycle of birth and death, and it continues on and on. But is that the objective of our existence? It is not. Perfection is the objective, but it's also the journey. When that is completed, we break free from this world of samsara. We break this cycle of birth and death. And this is why we break that mala and we offer. Come on this side and offer. You all touch hands. Om Bhud Bhuva Swaha Gotrasya Pretasya Shri Pushpam Pushpamala Maya Diyate Tava Upatishtatam. Om Krishnaya Govindaya नारायणाय नमो नमः। श्री पुष्पमाला मया दीयते ताव उपतिष्ठताम्। And now we'd have a performance of Aarti. Aarti again pays respect to that body, that vehicle that was used by this Atma during this portion of its journey. So while that is in progress, I ask everyone to please stand. And when they are finished with their 5 pradakshana, then you can sit, and members of the immediate family can perform your Aarti as well. Everyone will get an opportunity at the end to offer flowers and to pay your respects. And if you feel to do Aarti, you can do so as well. But this portion, when they are completed, members of the immediate family can do so. And we join in a simple bhajan that everyone knows and we can join in. Om yam dware mahaghore andhena tamasavrate tatravalokamartaya dipo yam tava upatishtatam. Continue 5 times and you'll walk around while you do Aarti, right? Jai Krishna Hare Shri Krishna Hare दुखियों को दुख दूर करे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे जय कृष्ण हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे दुखियों को दुख दूर करे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे जब चार तरफ अंधियारा हो आशा का दूर किनारा हो जब चार तरफ अंधियारा हो आशा का दूर किनारा हो और कोई न केवन हारा हो फिर तू ही बेड़ा पार करे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे जय कृष्ण हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे दुखियों को दुख दूर करे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे. When they have completed, remember, members of the immediate family can do so. तो चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे विष को भी अमृत कर दे तो चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे विष को भी अमृत कर दे पूर्ण कर दे सबकी आशा पूर्ण कर दे सबकी आशा जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे जय कृष्ण हरे श्री कृष्ण हरे दुखियों को दुख दूर करे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे जय 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 कृष्ण हरे. Okay, so the rest of you can remain seated, can take your seats. Those who are performing Aarti, the females, please, just a reminder to have an ordini and you place it on your head. You do Aarti. Om yam dhware mahaghore andhena tamasavrate tatravalokamartaya deepo yam tava upatishtatam. Bhajan says, O Lord, when will I be blessed with the opportunity of getting your darshan? I am sending this message directly to you, O Lord. When this body is bereft of all its senses and all feelings are gone, it will be taken to the funeral pyre to be cremated. Hari ho Rama milan kab hoy, andizwa lagi rahi. Hari ho Rama milan kab hoy, andizwa lagi rahi. देहि अर्थ वामी इंद्रियन पहिया देहि अर्थ वामी इंद्रियन पहिया भव के पंत चले ओ भव के पंत चले अंदिजवा लागी रही हरि हो राम मिलन कब होय अंदिजवा लागी रही पाप निश्चय में जीवन निंदिया पाप निश्चय में जीवन निंदिया भजन के भोर भये ओ भजन के भोर भये अंदिजवा लागी रहे हरि हो राम मिलन कब होय अंदिजवा लागी रहे जाग्रत स्वप्न सुषुप्तितुरैया जाग्रत स्वप्न सुषुप्तितुरैया जीतो तब राम मिले ओ जीतो तब राम मिले अंदिजवा लागी रही हरि हो राम मिलन कब होय अंदिजवा लागी रही वेद पुराण ग्रंथ बहु व्यंजन वेद पुराण ग्रंथ बहु व्यंजन पाकर भांज भले ओ पाकर भांज भले अंदिजवा लागी रहे हरि हो राम मिलन कब होय अंदिजवा लागी रहे हरि हो राम मिलन कब होय अंदिजवा लागी रहे ओम यम द्वारे महाघोरे अंधेन तमसावृते तत्रावलोकमार्ताय दीपोऽयं तव उपतिष्ठताम् Sure. Is he singer? Yeah. Anna. One day this world will be left behind. Those who are among the wealthy will also go with empty hands. Death does not make any distinction between the king and the beggar. It calls on everyone. एक दिन चोते जय संसार एक दिन चोते जय संसार ओ एक दिन चोते जय संसार जिनके लाख पर दीप भरत है जिनके लाख पर दीप भरत है जाते वो हाथ पसार ओ जाते वो हाथ पसार एक दिन चोते जय संसार, एक दिन चोते जय संसार। राजा रंक को काल नहीं चिन्हत, राजा रंक को काल नहीं चिन्हत। सबका करत आहार, ओ सब को करत आहार। एक दिन चोते जय संसार, ओ एक दिन चोते जय संसार। वेद पुराण ग्रंथ बहुविधि पर, वेद पुराण ग्रंथ बहुविधि पर। कोई न पावत पार, ओ कोई न पावत पार। एक दिन चोते जय संसार, एक दिन चोते जय संसार। भव सागर में जीवन निंदिया, भव सागर में जीवन निंदिया। राम लगावत पार, ओ राम लगावत पार। एक दिन चोते जय संसार, एक दिन चोते जय संसार। ओ एक दिन चोते जय संसार। प्रेम से बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की। So remember, everyone will get an opportunity at the end. Chapter 15.
Just continuing with the Bhagavad Gita verses that we started earlier. न तद्भासयते सूर्यः न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम। 1 minute. Yeah. Okay, go. ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनःषष्ठानि इन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति शरीरं यरवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात् श्रोत्रं चक्षुर्स्पर्शनं च रसनं घ्राणमेव च अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायं विषयानुपसेवते उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जानं वा गुणान्वितं विमूढानानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषः यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनं पश्यन्त्यात्मन्यवस्थितं यतन्तोऽप्यकृतात्मानः नैनं पश्यन्त्यचेतसः यदादित्यगतं तेजः जगद्भासयतेऽखिलं यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकं गामाविश्य च भूतानि धारयाम्यहमोजसा पुष्णामि चौषधी सर्वाः सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधं सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टः मतस्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यः वेदान्तकृद्वेदविदेव चाहं द्वाविमौ पुरुषौ लोके क्षरश्चाक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थोऽक्षर उच्यते उत्तमपुरुषस्त्वन्यः परमात्मेत्युदाहृतः यो लोकत्रयमाविश्य बिभर्त्यव्यय ईश्वरः यस्माक्षरमतीतोऽहम् अक्षरारपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च प्रतितः पुरुषोत्तमः यो मामेवमसम्मूढः जानाति पुरुषोत्तमं स सर्वविद् भजति मां सर्वभावेन भारत इति गुह्यतमं शास्त्रम् इदं मुक्तं मया नघ एतत् बुद्ध्वा बुद्धिमान् स्यात् कृतकृत्यश्च भारत ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे पुरुषोत्तमयोगो नाम पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः।
Very nice. Look at gas. See, can sit now. Take some chips. Want to bring the chair back also? Or you can take a seat so that they take a picture. Bring the chair back. Well, put the chair on that side. Okay, so now that the first Aarti has been performed, I would now call on the grandchildren, Ishana and, how do you pronounce it? Sarah? Sarah. Ishana and Sarah. To, say a few words, share some thoughts.
Was going to stand to get on right here. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ishana, and I'm the youngest grandchild of Mr. Hariram Ramroop, my loving Nana. We have had so many memories together. I wish I could write about all of them. You were there when I was born, and you were one of the first to hold me. I remember when I was younger, you and I used to hide in your room and eat chocolate candy and ice cream. Afterwards, you would tell me to keep this a secret. However, I couldn't keep the secret from my dad. When Daddy came home, I would run to him and spill the beans. Nana would then say that he was not going to give me any more sweets. The next day, Nana would forget about this and give me more ice cream. When I came home from school, you and I would go for walks. You even taught me how to ride my bike. I remember whenever you fell asleep on the couch, I would get my nail polish collection and start painting your toes hot pink. Sometimes you would forget to take out the polish and would go shopping in your sandals. Another shopper in the store even commented that they liked your nail polish. You looked surprised and then remembered what I had done, and you blushed. I even once gave you a whole set of henna on your arm. You never complained, and you would always laugh and say, "You're too bad." Nana, thank you for all these memories we have created together. I will always cherish these fun and loving times we have had together. I'll never forget them. I love you.
We are all gathered here today to celebrate and reminisce the life of Hariram Ramroop, my grandfather. To sum up my memories and experiences with him, it simply cannot be done in any amount of time or any amount of words. However, I've been given the opportunity to share with everyone present who he is to me and the role he played in my life. As his first granddaughter, I was extremely spoiled. Rotten, some may say. Growing up, I'd always look forward to Sunday. On this day, my grandfather would drive to our home just to see my brother and I. Grandpa would purchase fruits, every kind that I liked, of course, snacks, which he always chose, despite the fact that I'd tell him, I don't eat this, this is old people food. He would always bring the same snacks. He made sure to stop at Triple K Bakery to bring an assortment of cakes, pastries, and bread. Each year for Diwali, we would come to spend time with our grandparents. And the first thing Grandpa would tell me is, that is what you'll wear? You don't have nothing better than that. He always insisted on me wearing some kind of Indian wear. He also made sure Shane and I had fireworks, but nobody was more eager to light them than him. My earliest memory would have been when I noticed the way my grandpa would comb his hair. Each time I was leaving to return home, he'd ask for his hug, and I would properly rumple his hair. As the time went by, from arguing about what I did, he began insisting that I comb back his hair for him every time. Another memory which I'm sure everyone here is fond of is his famous line, "Want me drag up?" He'd always say this if we were playing, running, speaking loudly, or if a card game was involved. He was big on people's thoughts and opinions. He tried his very best to protect his family name and his name. Every time there was a family gathering, Grandpa would insist that we came, day or night, and we were required to be there. Oftentimes, he made me socialize. As much as I disliked it, I would suck up every bit of argue I had in me and accompany him while he introduced me to people I knew I would never see again in my life. Each time we visited Auntie Melissa and Uncle Maurice at their home, Grandpa would always make sure he was ready first each time we were going on an excursion. Whether it was to a grocery store, a clothing store, or a popular site, Grandpa would always be ready, in his shirt, dress pants, and sneakers, with his hair combed and his walking stick. Upon entering the store, Grandpa would always walk beside or behind us. He would listen carefully to our conversations and what we said we wanted or needed. He'd pick up whatever it was we said we would like, no matter how many times Mommy would say they don't need this, only get what they need. He'd just buy it, just to please us. When he returned from his visit, he would always bring back snacks, clothes, and shoes for everyone. Little me would always be upset when Shane got more stuff than me or something better, since my grandfather had better taste in guys' clothes and shoes when compared to girls' ones. However, he would always purchase items he thought I'd fancy. As I got older, my personality began to form. I often expressed my feelings by using my words. While I was told to stop answering back, I would always remind my grandfather I inherited my smart mouth from him. While he would laugh it off, he knew I was right. In the last few years, things were quite challenging on our entire family. When Grandpa first got sick, I witnessed the toll it took on both my parents, so I offered to stay with my grandparents and assist in every way possible. There were countless nights of him being a picky eater or fussing over the littlest things. There was also many times where we all needed to be strong for him, both mentally and emotionally. From holding him up while he relearned to walk, to listening to him apologize to the state he was in. As he began to heal and go back to the strong, stubborn, hardworking, and honored man he once was, he was proud again. He reported to work and ensured that he went each time he was required to. He spent his able days ensuring everyone's needs were tended to. My grandfather was a person who listened to my every need and provided my every want. He made sure Shane and I were aided in every way we wished. Despite him being the kind-hearted person we knew him to be, he wasn't afraid to yell at us or argue when we did something wrong. His personality and ways will be properly missed by everyone. He touched every life he met, and now he lives on in all of us.
Okay, so I would just like to call on Maurice. Is Maurice here? Okay, Maurice, who would render the eulogy So I crave your indulgence a little bit.
Thank you. Thanks, Baba. Sitaram, everyone. My name is Maurice, and I'm the son-in-law of Hariram Ramroop, better known as Baiwa. Just gonna give a brief, recap. So, Dad was born in Endeavour on April 1945. He went to Shagwana's government primary and then Chades College. Afterwards, he developed his business sense from working on the family farm, other agricultural experiences, and finally working in Ramroop supermarket. During this time, he met the love of his life, Sumati, and they were married on April 25th, 1969, which happens to be our anniversary month and day as well, not by, just random. This union produced 3 children, Sunil, Joanne, and Melissa. I remember him as a dedicated family man. He would also consider all the nieces, nephews, grandniece, grandnephews as his own. He loved the children so much that any time he would hear one of them cry, he would ask the parents, why are they beating the kids for? He also believed in his children getting their education. He would personally ensure that he dropped and picked up the kids from school every day, no matter what. During these rides, he would have heart-to-heart talks with his kids, about any situation in life. Now that's what I call being an active father. Sunil remembers how when he was growing up and he went to the cinema late at night, how his dad would come pick him up. I always wondered why this was, but since becoming a father myself, I know he just wanted to protect his children. Now, Joanne remembered when she was going to primary school, she would always stop by an elderly lady to buy sugar cake and tulum. So her dad didn't want her to eat too many sweets. And he pointed out to Joanne one day, you see that lady, how she chewing coconut? That's how she make the sugar cake and tulum. So after that, I believe Joanne hasn't craved those sweets since. Melissa remembers being spoiled as she's the last of the 3. Her dad wouldn't even let her light the stove until her I'd say almost 20 years. He would iron her clothes, comb her hair, get her ready for school. And also, all of the 3 kids remember whenever the dad found, snakes in the garden. He would tell them to go get a stick for him to hit the snake. So they found out later in life that he had a little fear of snakes because he would always tell them, hit it now, hit it. I remember him as always being punctual to events and always dressing his best. He took this so seriously that if he had to be somewhere at 2 p.m., he would start getting ready by 9:10. And Dad had quite the sense of humor. Melissa witnessed this when her dad and her sister-in-law, Savvy, went shoe shopping. Melissa's dad pulled her aside and showed her a shoe that he had picked up for Savvy that was 3 or 4 sizes too big. He then asked Melissa if she wanted to see a joke. Melissa and Dad walked up to Savvy and he said, Savvy, if these shoes could fit you, I'm buying it for you right now. He also loved a good prank. There were many times that I fell asleep on the couch, only to find a Pringles chip or a rolled up piece of paper in my mouth and wake up to him laughing loudly. I'm glad to have had the chance to know him for the past 17 years. I'll never forget you, and I'll leave you all with a quick poem from an anonymous author. Life is but a stopping place, a pause in what's to be, a resting place along the road to sweet eternity. We all have different journeys, different paths along the way. We all were meant to learn some things, but never meant to stay. Our destination is a place far greater than we know. For some, the journey is quicker. For some, the journey is slow. And when the journey finally ends, we'll claim a great reward and find an everlasting peace together with the Lord. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll ask you to just hold your applause. It's not, appropriate at this juncture. It's a solemn occasion. Even though we may be moved and touched by the words, So what we'll do before we have some thanks, I believe, we would have the floor open for a few brief moments. And I'd ask those who wish to, say a few words, share your condolences, or, say something meaningful. You have the opportunity now, but I, again, ask you to be, very brief in doing so. So, anyone? Now is your opportunity. Don't all rush at the same time. Okay, so we don't have much speakers here. We have more listeners. All right, so
Sitaram, my father-in-law, Hariram Ramroop. I always respect him, and he's loving, caring, and a lot of time whenever we have problem or call him, he always give the right direction where to go. After his first heart attack, I always tell him, get retired and don't even work. He said, man, I'm not gonna retire. I always work. I think he worked up to the end. He'll be always remembered. Thanks for all coming. Appreciate it.
okay, so Kamal, I think you have one more duty to perform, and I'll just say some thanks. Oh, that was the thanks? No, yeah, yes. Well, I'm saying you carded here to say some words of thanks. Okay, so he's foregone that. And on behalf of the family, they would like to express their heartfelt thanks to those who would have supported and come and been there for the family, either through your presence or your kind words or your support during this time. And I think that they look forward to, your continued support. So devotees, it would be remiss of me if I did not share, just briefly, if I did not share a few thoughts of my own and have, probably some contemplation. Death is never easy, nor is it ever expected. Just yesterday, the country mourned the passing of someone who would have affected, inspired most of us as Trinidadians, and the country mourned. But even in his own way, our dear beloved father-in-law, friend, neighbor, he would have affected our lives. And that's why we are here today. We are here to pay our final respects. We are here to offer words of condolences and comfort to the family. And we are also here to say our final goodbyes. And let me see those of us here who just here to show we face. That's a common term. Well, if you have a face like mine, you don't necessarily want to be showing it all over the place. We are here to offer support, condolences, and we're here to make a promise that we will be here for this bereaved family. Because the funeral day will come and go. And that period of mourning, we don't know how it lasts. How long it lasts, and in what manner people mourn. People mourn differently. Some may look happy and contented and going about their business normally, but deep down they are hurting. And that not only goes for death, it goes for anything. So that's why we must be kind to everyone at all times. So when this time comes, and we say it's unexpected, we are normally unprepared for death. But let me ask you something. What is the one thing from birth which we are assured of? Which we say that we are sure that this will happen. If you plant a avocado tree, or zabuka, are you sure that you will be getting zabuka from it? No, because you have weather conditions and you have the perennial larceny bandits. You have many different things that can happen, and we are not assured of that. So no matter what we do, we are not assured of the future. But what is the one thing that we are assured of? That is death. As long as there is birth, there will be death. The pairs of opposites are there. Where there is heat, there will be cold eventually. And where there is joy in this world, there will also be grief and sadness. Do you know that I know every one of your day of birth, day of death? When you start to die, I know everyone. You just tell me your birthday. That is the day we begin to die. You ever thought about it that way? Our birthday is the day we begin to die. Because every day, every month, every year, every moment that passes after that brings us one moment closer to that appointed time. So death does not happen in an instant. Death does not take illness. Garud Puran says that illness comes like a tigress stalking its prey. Death does not only come like that. Death begins when we are born. This body that we have is made out of 5 elements. The Pancha Mahabhutas: earth, fire, wind, water, and Akash. And for all of these elements are finite. They can only be modified. So, when this time has come, these elements have to be returned to their respective abode, their loka. This is why you will see when that body is removed from here, we will make 5 stops. 1 here, maybe 1 down the road, I understand, and probably 3 at the cremation site. Those stops, those manzilas we call them, are there for us to say symbolically farewell to these elements which make up our body. And farewell to all of these elements that make up this entire creation. So we would say farewell. That's what we do. That's why we make these stops. It is a symbolic farewell, symbolic sending back of these elements. And devotees, our bodies are not the only thing that are made out of these elements. Everything that we see, hear, smell, taste, or touch, perceive in this world is made out of these elements. These very same elements. Various modifications and so on. What is the purpose of human life then? What is the purpose of this body? All right, let me put it a little analogy. I don't want to be too long. Let's say you have to go to, where's a popular place in this country? Diego Martin. Let's say you have, I don't know, you have to meet somebody in Diego Martin to complain about the state of the roads. You would leave here and you have to travel. So you'd leave here and take a taxi or a maxi into Chaguanas, a taxi. I haven't traveled for a very long time, so you all tell me what it is. Huh? Take a taxi into Chaguanas, you take a maxi or a taxi into Port of Spain. From Port of Spain, you take a maxi, I think it's a yellow van, to Diego Martin, and from Diego Martin, Four Roads or wherever they drop you, you take a taxi to your destination. Is it the same taxi? No. When that vehicle has fulfilled its portion of its journey, we have to come out of that vehicle. And we have to enter another vehicle because that other vehicle is for that portion of its journey. So sometimes the vehicle becomes old and worn out. And we have to come out of that. because that portion of our journey is complete. And now we begin another portion of our journey. So this is an analogy of life and how we go about. Our Atma is indestructible, infinite. And when we occupy a body, when that Atma occupies a body, it is for a particular purpose, a particular period. And when that objective has been fulfilled, it is time for that Atma to enter into a new vehicle for another portion of its journey. But there's something strange about that journey. Do you know that all of us will end up at the same destination? Some may take a different route, may take a different path, may take different vehicles, different transportation methods, but we all end up at the same destination. I don't mean to go matana. I mean philosophically. Mergence with that supreme consciousness, God, however you want to term that entity, we all end up there. So devotees, our dearly beloved Father, our friend, that husband, today that body has served its purpose. And we pay respect to it. And we return it to its elements. But that Atma continues and will occupy another body until such time as that world of samsara is broken, that cycle is broken, and he merges with that supreme consciousness. So in closing, I want to tell you a little story. So if you don't remember anything, you'll remember this one story. I wouldn't say the same one I said last Wednesday, because I know Bhaiya here he was there, so he might get fed up with it. So I'll tell another one. There was this individual by the name of Ratnadatta, and he didn't believe in God. And his father was worried about that. He had no faith, no shraddha. So his father devised a plan where he would go to the king, and he said, "Oh king, my son does not believe in God. Let me do a plan for him." So the king said, "Bring him." So Ratnadatta came to the king, and the king said, he handed him a bowl, and he filled it with oil. And he told him, "I want you to walk through this village, walk to the coast, and come back, and do not spill a drop of that oil. If you spill a drop of that oil, I will kill you." So Ratnadatta goes on this journey. He holds this bowl of oil, and while he passes, he sees trucks passing in the way, or a carriage, however you want to term it. He sees a bazaar, a lot of happiness and joy. He looks, he sees a wedding. He walks further. He sees the grief of a funeral. He reaches the coast. He observes the animals. He observes the fish. And then he returns. And while he looks at all of that and engages in all those activities, when he returns, he looks in his bowl and he sees that oil, only a little bit remained. And he got scared. So hands shaking, he returns to the king. And the Raja says, "Ratnadatta, you broke your promise. Now I will have to kill you." So he begged for mercy. And the king said, "Okay, I will give you one more chance. You go, I will fill this bowl up with oil again. And you go in the same route and come back. And do not drop an ounce of oil. But this time, I wouldn't wait for you to come back to kill you. If you drop it, I am sending 2 guards with swords on your neck. And as soon as you drop that oil, we will dispense with you. We'll terminate your life." So Ratnadatta continues with this bowl in his hand. And he goes in this journey. He sees a bazaar. He observes it, but he pays close attention to the bowl of oil. He passes the funeral. He sees the grief. He observes it, but he knows that the swords are on his shoulder. So he takes care with that bowl. And he returns, he goes to the shore and comes back, holding that, cherishing that bowl of oil, knowing that at any point, if he drops a drop of that, he will be killed. And finally he returns, and with so much dedication and concentration and discipline, he returns that bowl of oil full to the brim. And the Raja looks at him and he says, You see the faith that you had? You see the dedication that you showed? This is how your life should be. Always take into consideration the goal. Things will happen in your life. Weddings, funerals, children, cars, house. Things, all of these things will happen. All of these things you will see. All of these things you will observe. But don't get attached to it, because then you lose sight of that goal, that objective. And you know the best way to keep that objective at the forefront of your mind is to know that death is always on our shoulders. So it might be a morbid thought, by the way. But I remember once I went to a funeral of a pundit, and he had listed who to contact, where the 5 piece of gold was, what to do, which funeral home, everything listed. And he had that put in a drawer 10 years now, and he told his children that's what it is. Because he was prepared. Are we prepared? If we understand that death can be at our doorstep, then we would live each moment as our last. And that doesn't mean to eat, drink, and be merry. That is engaging in the world. We keep the goal, the objective, goodness, harmony, understanding, love, compassion, empathy. All of these things are important. The house and the land and the car and all of those things are modification of the elements, and they will go. So devotees, today we say farewell to our dearly departed, and we ask that Bhagavan Shri Krishna continues to keep him and keep that objective at the forefront of his journey. And you know what he has left us? He has left us something. His presence is always here, with the memories that we have of him, with the values that he instilled in his children and grandchildren, with the principles that he lived by. All of those things are things that are inculcated in us. And all of those things are things that we should live by. So all the rites and rituals, I'm speaking to you all specifically, the children, and all the rites and rituals are good. But the best thing that you can do for him now is to honor his memory. Do the things that he would have been proud of you to do. That's the best offering that we can live. Live our life as an offering to him and to Bhagwan. Prem se bole Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. So devotees, we have one bhajan, my dear brother. And while that bhajan is taking place, we'd offer the pinda and so on. And then we'd have closing mantras and we'd proceed.
Namaste, Sitaram, Assalamu alaikum. Maiya ki mamuta saji, तजो बाबा का प्यार, द्वाल बाल के मित्रता, गोपियन के मनोहार, तज के सब परिवार को, तज मुरली की तां, अपनों से मोको मोर के, मथुरा चले रे काम। सोना सोना लागे भीरज का दाम, गोकुल को छोड़ चले रे घनश्याम। सोना सोना लागे बीरज का दाम, गोकुल को छोड़ चले रे घनश्याम। जमुना रोए मधुबन रोए, रोए कदम की छैया हो, रोए कदम की छैया। धर भर नैना रोई रे गवाले, धर भर नैना रोई रे गवाले, रोए धीरज की गैया। राह रोके कर रोए मनुष्य का हो, राह रोके कर रोए मनुष्य का, बिचर रहे मोरे श्याम रे। सुना सुना लागे बीरज का दाम, गोकुल को छोर चली रे घनश्याम। गोल सके ना घर के पंछी, असवन से भरने ना, असवन से भर नैना। आजा काना ना जा काना, ना जा काना, ना जा काना, ना जा काना, ना जा काना। भूखे रे पिंजरे की मैना। नदिया रोए गिरी भर रोए, ले काना का नाम रे। सोना सोना लागे बीरज का दाम, गोकुल को छोर चली रे घनश्याम। प्रेम दीवानी राधा रानी, बरनैनन में पानी हो। प्रेम दीवानी राधा रानी, बरनैनन में पानी। सुपक सुबक कहे हाय रे काना, हाय रे काना, हाय रे काना। सुबक सुबक कहे हाय रे काना, तूने बिरहा के पीर न जाने। कैसे कटेंगी तुझ बिना साथी, जीवन के अब शाम रे। सोना सोना लागे बीरज का दाम, गोकुल को छोर चली रे घनश्याम। चोर चले घनश्याम, चोर चले घनश्याम, चोर चले, चोर चले घनश्याम घनश्याम। सोना सोना लागे बीरज का दाम, गोकुल को छोर चली रे घनश्याम।
Okay, don't go too far. So he'll sing another one while we, just after we have offered our flowers and so on. So I'll just ask the Shrotas to please face out. So you can go on that side, face out. Well, just as how you all were before. So let us all please stand. We ask that this final journey of our dearly beloved be successful, and that while his body will be cremated and his body will be offered, that those principles and values we all inculcate in our lives. Close our eyes and bow heads. Om Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Janardanam Yat Pujitam Maya Deva Paripurnam Tadaswami Kayena Vacha Manasendriyaiva Buddhyatmana va Prakrite Swabhavat Karomi Adhyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanayete Samarpayami Asato ma sargamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya Tvameva mata chapita tvameva Tvameva bandhos chasaka tvameva Tvameva vidya द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देवा ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम् ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय प्रेम से बोले वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की jai. So, devotees, you can take your seats, and those who want to offer your final prayers, you can do so. You put the flowers. So, just some instructions. You'll come this way in front. You make your offerings, and then you return this way. So, we'll have one direction, one flow. So, if you see that other people are coming in your direction, then you're probably going in the wrong direction. Okay, so we'll this way and come around this way. Okay, so I hand you over to Bhaiya.
He is one sweet loving Father. He's like the moon that glows all over us. He's like the stars that shine so brightly. And he knows that you all love him. तुझे सूरज कहूँ या चंदा, तुझे दीपक कहूँ या तारा, मेरा नाम करेगा रोशन, जग में मेरा राज दुलारा. He is one sweet loving Father. He's like the moon that glows all over us. He's like the stars that shine so brightly, and he knows that you all love him. मैं कब से तरस रहा था, मेरी आंगन में कोई खेले, नन्ही से हंसी के बदले मेरी सारी दुनिया ले ले. तेरे संग झूल रहा है मेरी बाहों में जग सारा, मेरा नाम करेगा रोशन, जग में मेरा राज दुलारा. तुझ सूरज कहूँ या चंदा, तुझे दीपक कहूँ या तारा, मेरा नाम करेगा रोशन, जग में मेरा राज दुलारा. आज इंगली ताम के तेरे, तुझ में चलना सिखला हूँ, कल हाथ पकड़ मेरा, जब मैं बुरा हो जाऊं, तू मिला तो मैंने पाया, जीने के नया संभाला, मेरा नाम करेगा रोशन, जग में मेरा राज दुलारा. तुझ सूरज कहूँ या चंदा, तुझे दीपक कहूँ या तारा, मेरा नाम करेगा रोशन, जग में मेरा राज दुलारा.
Okay, so the body will be leaving shortly. So this is the opportunity for anyone who would like to offer flowers onto the casket for the final viewing. This is your opportunity to do so now. So don't all rush at once.
king must eventually marry the bride of death. Let not the mind lust at physical wealth or pleasures. The services that we can perform, do it now, for you may never get the opportunity to pass this way again. Glorify the name of the Lord and receive His blessings. Ek din hame bhi jana hai. One day we will all have to leave this world.
एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है। जग चला जाता है सारा, जग चला जाता है सारा, इकता कौन ठिकाना है। एक दिन हमें भी जाना है, एक दिन हमें भी जाना है। मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम, ले लो राम, मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम। मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम, ले लो राम, मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम। लोचन मन में जगे न हो तो, लोचन मन में जगे न हो तो, जुगल चरण में ले लो राम, ले लो राम, मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम। कोई ना ले जय धन बांध के गठरिया, कोई ना ले जय धन बांध के गठरिया, धन बांध के गठरिया, धन बांध के गठरिया, धन बांध के गठरिया, धन बांध के गठरिया रे। कोई ना ले जय धन बांध के गठरिया। जब यमराज पलंग पर बैठे, जब यमराज पलंग पर बैठे, उलट गए दोनों नैन पतरिया, उलट गए दोनों नैन पतरिया रे। कोई ना ले गए धन बांध के गठरिया।
मेरा भोला है भंडारी, करता नंदी की सवारी, भोलेनाथ रे, ओ शंकर नाथ रे। ओ मेरा भोला है भंडारी, करे नंदी की सवारी, शंभुनाथ रे। जब प्राण तन से निकले, इतना तो करना स्वामी, जब प्राण तन से निकले, गोविंद नाम लेकर, जब प्राण तन से निकले, इतना तो करना स्वामी, जब प्राण तन से निकले। यदि गंगा जी का तट हो, जमुना का तट निकट हो, यदि गंगा जी का तट हो, जमुना का तट निकट हो, और सावरा निकट हो, जब प्राण तन से निकले, इतना तो करना स्वामी, जब प्राण तन से निकले।
आज अंधेरे में हैं हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान। आज अंधेरे में हैं हम इंसान, चाँद का सूरज चमका दे भगवान। भटक रहे हम राह दिखा दे भगवन, राह दिखा दे।
भटक रहे हम राह दिखा दे भगवन, राह दिखा दे।
कदम कदम पर किरण बिछा दे भगवन, किरण बिछा दे।
कदम कदम पर किरण बिछा दे भगवन, किरण बिछा दे।
इन अखियन को प्रभु करा दे,
अखियन को प्रभु करा दे।
ज्योति से पहचान,
ज्योति से पहचान।
आज अंधेरे में हैं हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान।
ज्योति बिंदु, ज्योति बिंदु, परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन। परमानंद का अनुभव कर, ओ परमानंद का अनुभव कर, तू धन्य बना